Thank you to our title partners, Flowers by M. Ceylon. Now, they were extremely successful in Sydney. They still have their operations running. They have created weddings that have been statements there in terms of the ambience, the location. You know, we Sri Lankans know how to really make a wedding look phenomenal. So they were very keen that I give this bunch of flowers to our guest today. I think well, this has enough for you to charm all 4 women at home. But I must say, if you want to make a moment very special, you can now go to Flowers by M. Ceylon. They're located at hi.lk City Mall, where you get a chance to curate the bouquet you like, or even the bunch of flowers you like to send to someone, surprise them. They have such a range for you to choose from exotic to international. They have so much for you to pick and choose and make that moment special. Thank you for joining us on Danu on Fire, and this is for you.
Thank you, Danu, and thanks, Flowers by M. Ceylon.
There you go. You like to have it minimal, or you like it very loud and out there? Options are limitless when you visit XXL today for a range of clothes that you can choose from. It's not limited to those big sizes only. They have such a range for anyone to shop and experience. 100% Sri Lankan. This is what makes it more special. Do check out XXL for a full package when it comes to your fashion, from footwear to accessories to perfumes and so much more. Thank you for being with us on Danu on Fire.
Danu on Fire, powered by
I just say it.
Welcome to Danu on Fire, right here on Hi TV, your luxury channel. Today we have come all the way to Mount Lavinia because we're checking out this fabulous restaurant that was put together called Spoons, where they serve amazing food. So to accompany with yummy food, I wanted to have someone who enjoys food. He has been seen at good cafes enjoying food with his family. So I thought I'll have a very well-known figure in our country, Mr. Ravi Karunanayaka.
Hi, Danu.
Thank you for joining me on the show.
Thank you for inviting.
And how has the last few years been with not so much of a tight parliament political schedule?
Well, I think it has been a good learning experience, and seeing the other side of the fence as well. We have been 26 years in Parliament, and seeing this side, I see that the people went through a transition, and that was I think an era of trying to see a new advent. But of course, I think the people have realized that that has been a misadventure. And with that, we also have been repositioning ourselves in order to reflect the people's will and also their aspiration.
Do you think the whole political, what can I say, the graft or the way people see politics has now rapidly changed? You know, there was a time when, you know, you could promise, you could bribe, you could speak, you could... I think now people are a bit more smarter, shrewder, and also they're expecting something in return, otherwise there's retaliation.
Well, I think you're dead on. I would say with the social media taking ground in the country, as well as media being very sharp and agile. I think what is on is people have become more educated. And as you said, they can't be duped into giving anything and everything like what was done in the past. Not that it was done, there was one lot that was doing, because they didn't have policies or a direction. So as a result, they used the cheap scale approach of trying to buy people over. That was bought by some, but not by all.
This 20 odd years of politics, have you ever felt like I should just throw in the towel?
Well, that has been always a thing that has coming in. But then when I came into it, I definitely saw that this was a challenge that was taking place. And with that, I would see that there was an area where people were, I would say, flirting in areas which they would never know how to go forward. And when we had the opportunity, I thought, let's make this the objective. And with that, I think the challenge I took, I didn't want to see back. And if we basically give up, that would be a very sorry state for a country that needs a direction with professionalism. Unfortunately, this country does not permit that professionalism to operate in its professional manner. And if we basically give in to the threats, then I guess we are doing injustice to the country. That's why we weather the storm and come forward, going through the hard patches that are there. But then people also realize that there is a difference, and I hope that corrective action can be put to proper fruition in the years to come.
You know, I've always wondered, there are people who are known and there are also people who are popular. Known, I think, for the whole political framework. There was an era where politicians were seen as personalities, they were garlanded, they were loved, they were approached in a more positive way. But right now, politicians are approached like the cricketers. Like, you know, they are known, but they are not loved. But end of the day, we have to always realize that you're also a human. You tend to see the messages, you tend to see the comments or the headlines that appear on the papers. And you have a family, just like us, you'll have a meal at home. Do these affect you on a personal level? Have you ever felt broken within you that we will never get a chance to see?
Well, I think, Danu, the very aspect that if it is politicians that is made to grapple the problem, it doesn't matter. But when it spearheads into the family, for they that don't have any control of anything, and when it permeates down to them, it is a great thing. And that's the time you really feel, is it worthwhile? But I guess if you give in to that threat, then it is injustice, as I said, that's happening. So time has been a good healer where they have seen through, and I guess they have been very supportive. But I feel still it is a vicious, cynical society that does this, and it's a handful. Majority doesn't, and that's why I prefer investing in the majority rather than the minority that tries to disturb professionalism getting into the system.
Great. There's more to the man who we see here. If it was not for politics, it could have been cricket. I'll come back with more. You stick around. This is Danu. Bye.
Danu on Fire, powered by
Thank you to our title partners, Flowers by M. Ceylon. Now, they were extremely successful in Sydney. They still have their operations running. They have created weddings that have been statements there in terms of the ambience, the location. You know, we Sri Lankans know how to really make a wedding look phenomenal. So they were very keen that I give this bunch of flowers to our guest today. I think Well, this has enough for you to charm all 4 women at home. But I must say, if you want to make a moment very special, you can now go to Flowers by M. Ceylon. They're located at Havelock City Mall, where you get a chance to curate the bouquet you like, or even the bunch of flowers you like to send to someone, surprise them. They have such a range for you to choose from exotic to international. They have so much for you to pick and choose and make that moment special. Thank you for joining us on Danu on Fire, and this is for you.
Thank you, Danu, and thanks, Flowers by M. Ceylon.
There you go. You like to have it minimal, or you like it very loud and out there? Options are limitless when you visit XXL today for a range of clothes that you can choose from. It's not limited to those big sizes only. They have such a range for anyone to shop and experience. 100% Sri Lankan. This is what makes it more special. Do check out XXL for a full package when it comes to your fashion, from footwear to accessories to perfumes and so much more. Thank you for being with us on Danu on Fire. Welcome back to the show. We are speaking to Ravi K. Let's keep it cool that way. Cricket was something that you had in mind?
Yes, certainly. I played cricket initially.
School level, and then you come into a club level as well?
No, school level. Because from there, I lost my father in my early days, so I had to do my studies, and accountancy, which was what I selected. So I had to work and study, so there was no time for extracurricular activity.
Now, of course, you can't join the team. No, now you can. Sorry, I forgot.
With what's going on there.
Yeah, you don't need to be in the whole six-pack range anymore. Yeah, forgot about that. We can both champion the cricket team. I wanted to speak to you about home front. You have 3 daughters.
Yes.
How do you survive?
Danu, over the passage of time.
One of them are here, so you need to go back home as well.
No, I mean, I guess we have always been giving the children its first due place, and they have responded extremely the same way, except there was a resistance at one time doing politics, because they saw that there was not enough time given to them. And that basically went into their system. But later they found as to why it is, and their support thereafter has been very strengthening. So
out of the 3, who calls you out?
Well, all 3 are terrors, but in 3 different ways.
Okay.
So,
does the wife have any say in that house, or?
well, I seem to be the only one who's not having a say in the house.
Okay, got you. That's a bit of a problem. So he has always been a part of theatre. He has always come and watched plays, especially in the Danu productions. Once I got flowers after one of my productions. Your PA brought it for me. It was O Colombo the Wedding.
Okay.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
Yeah, I played, I don't know what it was, the character, but it was very ting, but it was a good role. But you have always been someone who loved the art.
I love it. I love the art as well as the song. Not that I can sing for trophies, but I love to hear that, because that at least takes pressure off the busy life that we have.
In this whole run of, you have served presidents, ministries, you've taken up leadership. When you had to leave your business, that kind of a lifestyle where things are quite organized, you know what happens, you know what document you're signing, you know if there's a meeting at 9 o'clock, it's going to start at 9. To a very, I know you work for all types, one of the presidents, never on time kind of a person. So how do you sort of work around this mindset and culture that is, I don't know, politics has never been the very straight, clear path where you can see everything to the future. How did you shift from a private sector mindset to a very up in the air kind of a situation?
Danu, as you quite rightly put in, I came from the corporate world to the public service, and I find that was a terrific situation, because when you try to change them, there is resistance, and that resistance looks as if there is a private sector coming to basically take over the public sector. And that was the biggest problem we had. But then when you drew the sense of efficiency, that is what was wanted, and made them team leaders in their system, they responded. By the time you get things done, the time runs off. Because I believe that you have to have a good 10-year run to get a country off the ground. So these are the drawbacks that are there when you come from the private sector, which is more task-oriented, more people-oriented, cost-benefit analysis, all those put together, which is alien in the public service. As for them, they get a salary paid for, whether they work or not, they get it paid. And I think that's a sense of lethargy that has crept into our society, and we don't get justice paid for our taxpayers.
Do you feel that this will ever change? Do you think there will be, because no person who wants to come into power will say these openly, because this could sort of disturb the apple cart and we might not get the votes. So they're like, oh, we'll keep you happy. But when does that cycle end?
No, I think the rude wake-up call with the country going into bankruptcy has been a good wake-up call. So either you decide that you take that in its correct perspective, or if not, we go down the same thing, and the next attempt will be just beyond redemption. And I think the change is happening now, and it has to be transformed into a more nation-building exercise. I will just give you one exercise. I mean, all the country, whether it is from different walks of life, everybody is a taxpayer when it comes to indirect taxation. Almost 84% of your taxes are collected to pay 1.8 million public servants. Do you see a value for money coming out of that? Now, when you tell this out, those people feel as if you're there to serve them. That's the difference. While it can be far more efficient, done in the example I take always is the telecoms. Maybe 20 years ago, you had to wait for years to get a telephone. Now, 1 minute you have hundreds coming to give you a phone. And the prices have been no big difference to then to today. So that's a sense of competition that brings better service to the people.
Privatizing institutes, do you think Sri Lanka will have, what can I say, the right positive attitude towards it, like when it comes to our transportation? These are the areas where we are really lacking.
Danu, when you say privatization, it gives a connotation of a very nasty name. No, if I take the other way, now President Vikram Singh is hoping to give houses to the people. Now that's the privatization we believe. You create wealth among the private sector. They are basically at the moment living in a government house but not having title. But if you give them the title, which is going to be bestowed to almost 250,000 householders, then that gives a value. Then they have at least 10 to 15 million as a balance sheet to go to any bank. They can get their children to go for education. Now that's a wealth creating society.
And it also comes under them, so they need to maintain.
That is right. Now today if you go to a public flat, you feel, it is not maintained in a manner that you would like it to be maintained. But it's just simply because they feel this government. The Karatna that's same. Now that change is what is got to be brought. When you inculcate, now you're the owner of your castle. Then they feel, no, I've got to look after. Now I don't need to be spitting here. I don't need to be putting garbage down from the 4th floor. That change is what is got to be done. And I guess the quicker you do, Danu, the country will move it into a different way. Now, most of the people in this country like to go to Singapore, maybe Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, and come back and say, wonderful. But there everybody pays for everything, and here nobody pays for anything. And end of the day, that's the service you compare.
We need a break. We'll see you on the other side. We're checking out spoons at Mount Lavinia. If you do come by, the hotel road, you could always come check out this fabulous place where good food is guaranteed.
Danu on Fire, powered by
Thank you to our title partners, Flowers by M. Ceylon. Now, they were extremely successful in Sydney. They still have their operations running. They have created weddings that have been statements there in terms of the ambience, the location. You know, we Sri Lankans know how to really make a wedding look phenomenal. So they were very keen that I give this bunch of flowers to our guest today. I think well, this has enough for you to charm all 4 women at home. But I must say, if you want to make a moment very special, you can now go to Flowers by M. Ceylon. They're located at Havelock City Mall, where you get a chance to curate the bouquet you like, or even the bunch of flowers you like to send to someone, surprise them. They have such a range for you to choose from exotic to international. They have so much for you to pick and choose and make that moment special. Thank you for joining us on Danu on Fire, and this is for you.
Thank you, Danu, and thanks, Flowers by M. Ceylon.
There you go. You like to have it minimal, or you like it very loud and out there? Options are limitless when you visit XXL today for a range of clothes that you can choose from. It's not limited to those big sizes only. They have such a range for anyone to shop and experience. 100% Sri Lankan. This is what makes it more special. Do check out XXL for a full package when it comes to your fashion, from footwear to accessories to perfumes and so much more. Thank you for being with us on Danu on Fire. Back with us on the show, this is Danu on Fire, our final segment where we enjoy some food over a conversation. 2 things I like, so he also likes it, which is a great thing. So I wanted to ask you, we have seen a lot of brain drain in the last 2-3 years. We've lost so many doctors, we have lost even CEOs of good multinational organizations leaving, thinking Australia will serve better, London will serve better. Is there any way we can stop this?
We need to stop it. And I guess not that it can't be done, it has to be done. And I guess the quicker we get into a financially disciplined country, and that to show that there is a way forward, I think people will reverse trend. I must say, some of the people who have gone have seen that life in this side of the hill is far better than that side, and coming back. Yeah. But there must be a proper leadership and a direction given to the country. That was lacking, and I guess now it is coming back.
Your kids have never wanted to migrate?
No. In a matter of fact, we have shouldered them to ensure that they stay in the country and put their best effort into the country, and make going overseas as just to get further enhancement of knowledge. But I must say they have been much more keen to stay in the country.
Yeah.
But your question is absolutely right. This brain drain must be a reverse trend again.
Yeah, definitely. In terms of, we see this element of, Sri Lankans, they always say they have only a 2-week mindset. You know, we forget things too fast. We also forgive things too fast, and we move on. Is it lack of discipline? Is it lack of attention? Or is it lack of holding people responsible? That kind of patriotism we have towards this country. Like, no, this country deserves this, so give it to us. What would you say about it?
I would say the lack of patriotism, and in the sense that the love for the country is lacking. I mean, they can be bought over for anything, and that basically shows what their general mentality is. I would say the change that needs to take place is to bring a sense of financial discipline in, and a sense of more love for the country. Of course, the leaders must also respond to that call. No point saying so, and you find one lot of guys coming in, completely rooking the entire country. So that change, and also the concept, Danu, of getting something at every stage for nothing must change to earn your living. And that will bring a sense of pride onto yourself as well. I mean, if you look at the other countries that have thrived and gone forward, they basically make you feel that you're part and parcel of nation development. But here, no. You officially make them a wanting society. And that must change to a nation developing society.
In terms of where, holding people responsible, we also see when there is like an election coming up, when there are whispers of a party changing, promises are given, and people do say things. But unfortunately, nobody seems to be saying it. For example, if there's a water cut, we know there's a water cut. I don't want to be told there's a water cut. But what is the solution for the water to come back to us? That's the type of leadership people are looking out for now. Do you think we see not a lot of people interested in walking the lines of serving the country? It could be politics, Pradesh, whatever. We don't see a lot of educated, young, vibrant people wanting to come there and giving solutions and speeches to make a change. Do you think that will change as years go on?
Well, I think that change is taking place, but relatively slow. And as you quite rightly said, my feeling is that they must feel that they are also part and parcel of the development process, but they feel completely neglected in that society. Because the reward is not there. Holding people accountable is not there. This goes in a very cynical way. And that's where the guys that can do mentality is reduced and eliminated. You have a handful of people that want to steal that show in a different way.
Do you think we have a lot of parties for a small country?
Absolutely. We have 86 registered 86 political parties. And where the United States of America has two. And
you can follow things easily.
Absolutely. This is completely, I guess the very fundamental of party making is shattered. I think if you bring the cutoff point to about 10% or so, then you will have, the unwanted people being kept aside. Today, at the drop of a hat, you are forming a political party.
That is true.
That's the difference.
And we don't have any slogans as well. The next thing you know, you might have to put a sleeper there.
No, the slogan now, if I may take a singular this thing, Api Rata Hadamu, Api Vavamu, has been so told for the last 75 years. What the hell have we grown and where has the country gone? We are still importing 185 billion worth of agricultural imports into the country. So we have a fertile land, we have unemployed, we have 2.5 million that goes into subsidies by people getting, for not doing nothing, and we still import instead of irrigating in this irrigable land. So I just took one classic example to show that we spend in areas which is unproductive, but they have thought that that is a need, they have to get it. If you put a proposition, Danu, if somebody is given 1,000 rupees, or you have option of working for 15,000 rupees, they take the 1,000 rupee option and stay at home rather than work for the 15,000. So that's the culture change that you need to take place. And my fight has always been getting them into entrepreneurship. If you give them the opportunity, I can see here it's a nice lot of young team that is all engaged in trying to do something in their field. Now that is the way to go forward. But if each of them are said by the government, we pay you 1,000 rupees, just do nothing at all, that's going to be the ruination.
They're not that young. They just colored their hair black. Anyway, I think we need to wrap things up on the show, unfortunately. But I really hope...
if I may add one more from the financial aspect. I like to see, now we are always blame game is what is going on. Now look at the cricketers. Say maybe 5-10 years ago, they won the World Cup and it was Gao. Everybody was saying how good it is. Suddenly they have a bad patch and now we are scolding them. You must be able to give them a corrective action to be taken. Likewise, the country went into bankruptcy and you suddenly found that there was somebody who came and called a spade a spade. Now that is what you asked the previous question. Politicians fear to give an answer, where if you say something wrong, you lose votes. But today, telling that has become the investment. You tell the truth is far better than telling 100 lies to get out of a problem. So that financial disciplines come in today, you keep some direction, even though life is not easy. Likewise, I guess the cricketers must have given opportunity to ensure that given a rebirth to their confidence that is there. Because cricket is a loved game here. But today, owing to performances which was undesirable, they are being put as a head figure. So that's the cynical change that has to be given into more human change. Unless it is willfully done. That's where the problem lies. But I think discipline will come in and that's going to be the success story.
Hoping for a good 2025 as it dawns upon us. Just have 6 months more for that. Anyway, we need to wrap things up. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Danu.
Thank you for your insight, and wanted to bring out a side that you might have never seen him for. So we wanted to, speak to him as like how we speak to all the other guests. So thanks for being on the show. It was
Thank you,
fun
Danu, for
having you.
giving the opportunity.
No worries, it was fun. We will see you again soon. Till then, you keep smiling. It's a wrap on the show. And before I go, I have to say, this passion fruit sorbet is to die for.
Danu on Fire, powered by
Thank you to our title partners, Flowers by M. Ceylon. Now, they were extremely successful in Sydney. They still have their operations running. They have created weddings that have been statements there in terms of the ambience, the location. We Sri Lankans know how to really make a wedding look phenomenal. So they were very keen that I give this bunch of flowers to our guest today. I think this has enough for you to charm all 4 women at home. But I must say, if you want to make a moment very special, you can now go to Flowers by M. Ceylon. They're located at Havelock City Mall, where you get a chance to curate the bouquet you like, or even the bunch of flowers you like to send to someone, surprise them. They have such a range for you to choose from exotic to international. They have so much for you to pick and choose and make that moment special. Thank you for joining us on Danu on Fire, and this is for you.
Thank you, Danu. And thanks, Flowers by M. Ceylon.
There you go. You like to have it minimal, or you like it very loud and out there? Options are limitless when you visit XXL today for a range of clothes that you can choose from. It's not limited to those big sizes only. They have such a range for anyone to shop and experience. 100% Sri Lankan. This is what makes it more special. Do check out XXL for a full package when it comes to your fashion, from footwear to accessories to perfumes and so much more. Thank you for being with us on Danu on Fire.